You probably never noticed, but Clash of Clans silently removed more than 21 wild features forever over the last few years. Number 1. The most obvious one is definitely global chat. Everybody loved it. And if there is one thing all Clash players want back, it is it, or the Eagle Artillery. Ever since I started making videos about Clash of Clans, there has not been a single video without someone mentioning the global chat at least once in the comments. Number 2. How many of you still remember the option to sell buildings? Back in 2012, it was something normal. Didn't like the aesthetic of a building? Sell it. Don't like that decoration anymore? Sell it. Is the town hall taking too much space from your trees and stones? Sell it. How perfect were those days? Somehow, I always liked the possibility of doing everything I wanted in a game, and that button gave us exactly that. Number 3. Can you imagine that at launch, the in-game waterfall was making the game lag? Which is why they decided to remove it. In fact, the one we have today was added afterwards in 2020, even though it looks completely different. But the doubts remain. Was the animated waterfall graphic too advanced, or were the mobiles just potatoes at the time? Number 4. The beta stone is the rarest obstacle we have today in the game, all because it spawned only during the first weeks of Clash, after which it was removed forever by Supercell, and the reason remains unknown to this day. At the time, it was possible to remove it at the price of 20,000 gold. Just imagine if someone really removed it, only to realize now how rare it was. Number 5. Expo, Inferno Tower, Eagle Artillery and traps needed to be rearmed and reloaded manually before 2019. Every time after being attacked, players had to click on the town hall and pay an elixir gold or dark elixir to rearm them. Today, the game does it automatically when we log in, and most importantly, it does it for free. Number 6. In the early days of Clash of Clans, players could stay online for hours to prevent an attack on their base. As a countermeasure, Supercell added a break limit, where players had to take a break after continuously playing for a long time. But since now, we only have 8 attacks in Legend League, this feature was removed. Number 7. How many of you know that until 2022, we had national flags as decorations in Clash of Clans? We all loved them, since everybody wanted to buy the flag of their own country. But unluckily, Supercell removed them, all because they wanted to keep Clash separate from real-life references. And to be honest, I agree with this decision. Number 8. Only a few might remember that at the time there was a red flag on Town Hall 8. It was soon removed without any explanation. But since at the time that was the last upgradable town hall, we all thought that the little flag was a symbol for achieving the last goal. Probably initially, the developers never thought that Clash of Clans would have the massive success it had and never planned to add more town halls. Number 9. When spells were introduced, they cost gold, not elixir, which somehow made sense. You had to pay with gold for the wizards to brew new spells. But as well as today, at the time, gold was used for the majority of upgrades, while tons of elixir stayed unused inside the collectors. That's why they later decided to use elixir to brew the spells, keeping gold for upgrading buildings and walls. All because upgrading walls with elixir was introduced years later. Number 10. These 2 removals are recent ones. First, Supercell decided to remove the training cost for both spells and troops, to encourage us to play more. And it worked so well that they decided in 2025 to remove training time as well. Now, we can train our troops instantly and at 0 cost, plus the heroes have infinite life, instead of the initial 2. Basically, all the new features from the builder base were added to the main. So what's the point of the builder base at this point? Number 11. Unless you started playing back in 2012, you never noticed that the troop designs changed over time. At release, Clash of Clans was meant as a more cruel game with more violent designs. But as the game became more popular over time, Supercell changed almost all the original designs, making them more family-friendly. And to be honest, the designs now are way more enjoyable and make way more sense than before. Number 12. You probably saw a lot of videos or photos with blue walls at Town Hall 10. Those were the original designs when Town Hall 10 was released. Nowadays, we are used to seeing buildings, walls, and the town hall have similar designs, but it wasn't like this at the start. In fact, if you look at the town halls below 10, the design does not always match. It was with Town Hall 10 that they decided to match the walls and buildings, so they removed the blue walls for the ones we have today. Number 13. When Heroes and Dark Elixir were introduced, there was a strange situation. We unlocked the Barbarian King and Dark Elixir storage at Town Hall 7, but not the Elixir extractors. So the players needed to get 10,000 Dark Elixir for the hero in battle. That's why someone thought to use spells on the storages, and it worked. All the OG players used the lightning spell to steal Dark Elixir at the time. The strategy was so broken that Supercell had to introduce spell shields to all the storages. Number 14. Until a few years ago, some buildings were able to deal more damage to specific troops. For example, the Tesla did double damage to P.E.K.K.A.s, the Eagle Artillery did triple damage to Golems, and the Giant Bomb did 1.5 times more damage to Hog Riders. The reason is that there were moments in the game's history when these specific troops were meta and used a bit more than Supercell wanted them to be. In fact, these buildings worked so well that even after the bonus damage was removed, I am still cautious to deploy a P.E.K.K.A. near an enemy Tesla. Number 15. This is something I discovered myself only a few days ago. Do you know that at the start, when selecting a troop with a preferred building, like wall breakers that prefer walls, or giants that prioritize defenses, those buildings would turn red? And honestly, it all makes so much sense that it's strange we don't have it today. Probably it was needed only at the beginning to help us learn how Clash works, which is why it was later removed. Wouldn't it be a cool feature to have in the game? Maybe with the possibility to activate it in the settings for those who want it. Number 16. Another feature removed a few years ago was that our basic scenery changed with every season. Plus, in winter, if you remember, we used to have snow accumulating on buildings. How cool did it look with all that snow? But it was later removed because for every building with snow, they needed to create a completely new design besides the normal one, and it became a lot of work with the addition of new town halls. Another feature removed is the villagers wearing a Christmas hat in winter. Let me know in the comments how many of you want the comeback of the snowy buildings and Christmas villagers. Number 17. How many of you remember that the Inferno Tower used to stop healing coming from both healers and healer spells? The effect was so strong that during that time, both the healer and the healer spell became almost unused. That's why this effect was later removed. And it was for the better, since even the nerfed Inferno we have today is one of the strongest defenses in the game. Number 18. Talking about healers, there was a moment when they were almost invincible. I'm talking about the ability to fly over traps, even traps for flying troops. You heard me right. They became so hard to counter that soon this ability was removed. That's how we got the healers we have today, who die instantly after finding even one flying bomb. Are they more balanced this way? Definitely. Do I prefer the immortal version? 100%. Number 19. With the introduction of hero equipment, Supercell removed all the troop skins that came with hero skins. Don't get me wrong, we still have the old ones, but new skins have never been introduced since. Plus, let's be honest, they were such a cool addition to hero skins, and it's sad that we won't have them anymore. Number 20. With the introduction of Builder Base 2.0, we lost the head-to-head battles. Probably it was for the better, since there was a lot of waiting time and they weren't made perfectly. The idea was interesting, but the execution was much less. Probably, if structured and organized differently, they might have worked, but they didn't, so Supercell removed them. Now, we have normal battles in the Builder Base, just like in the main base. Number 21. How many of you remember that at launch, Town Hall 11 looked completely different? It looked so weak and generic that they had to redo the graphics. Honestly, it was all for the best. It makes a lot more sense the way we have it today, and it is one of the few things I am happy they removed from the game forever. Leave a like and subscribe if you had as much fun watching this video as I had making it. See you soon with more videos about Clash of Clans.